to remember multiple memorable memories together, about the memorable things that we have done, that we remember in this time of remembrance and memoriam. We will start with the enriching year of pre-kindergarten. So join us as we hearken back to the days of yesteryear, of nap mats, of habitat studies, and of crayons.
What do we remember from preschool? It feels like a long time ago, but somehow a few memories were retained. For example, stay in the lines when you're coloring, bubble in your mouth, marshmallow feet, over and under, around and through, this is how you tie your shoe. Preschool is the giant step from Velcro to laces, from daycare to actual school, and not even knowing where in the world you are or how long you will spend in this building for the next decade of your life. The little things are important, like the excitement of show and tell, creating best friends in nap time, pretending to be superheroes, or just the thought that your mom would never actually leave you here in this strange building. I remember back when we didn't have a care in the world, how hard it was at age 4 to step into this building, and how hard it is now at 8th grade graduation to step out of this building. This is the only place we've ever known, and the only teachers we've ever known. We think of all the ways they have loved on us since day one. The simplicity of "Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells us so" will be repeated in our lives and is something we need to remember as we go out into this world. Even though it was taught to us at a young age, it will always remain to be true. These simple truths spoken over us are gifts from God that are growing us and giving us courage to move forward in the next season of our lives.
Whether it was starting the year with Eagle Expo, getting to dig into our new school supply boxes, exploring our cubbies, or ending the year with the ocean play, kindergarten was one for the books. Kindergarten was the first year we went to school all week. This was big kid school. Long gone were the days of coloring from preschool. In kinder, we learned sight words, how to read, and how to tie our shoes, and we finally got to substitute coloring with recess. Luckily, we still kept the napping. At the time, napping was a pain. It was so boring trying to rest on our foldable blue nap mats. I highly doubt any of us throughout our elementary years lay down on those mats and actually fell asleep. The teachers told us to take advantage of it. They told us that we would really miss it one day, yet it seems like some students still participate in nap time right in the middle of class. In kindergarten, we finally got to venture out a little bit. Sometimes our adventures were as far as Henry's ice cream, while some were as close as the bathrooms right inside our teachers' rooms. Kindergarten marked the first year of real school and real work. Though we really miss all the memories from kindergarten, and we will miss all the memories from 8th grade, life moves on, and we can't wait to see what lies ahead.
First grade was a year of firsts. Our first field trip, our first adventures to the principal's office, and the 101st day of school. Mrs. Gibson, Mrs. Frazier, and Mrs. Ward led us through our first year of learning, and we experienced things such as the Invention Convention, where we were able to show off our imaginative inventions. We also held the Pet Show and Tell, where we introduced our pets, both living or stuffed, to our friends and teachers. We eventually got to visit the zoo and see other wild animals besides our fellow classmates.
Whether it was finally being able to play with the big kids on the football field or being a part of the clip-in feather trend, second grade was a great year. Even though the second grade had many fun, careless days, the stress became real when sticks were pulled and the lucky ones were chosen to hang out and read in Mrs. Walsh's bunk beds. Everybody remembers having Mrs. Abbott as an all-time favorite sub. On her first day of subbing, we went on a field trip to see the play Mrs. Nelson is Missing. Mrs. Abbott was forever affectionately known as Miss Swamp after that, the name of the substitute teacher in the play. While this wasn't a year of many firsts, it was a year where we were able to grow as students in independence and confidence.
Third grade was our transition year from all fun games to real school. It was the last time we would stay in one class all day. From the nerve-wracking 5 minutes of speed drills to the fun of getting to paint under our desk, we always ended up having a good time. Every Friday morning started off with a worship time where we would sing songs about fruit and jump off of chairs. This was also our last year without the joy of reading novels. In third grade, we were able to do the Living Museum, which was where we got to dress up as historical figures and give speeches about their lives to our friends, parents, and other relatives. Overall, third grade was a great year, and it prepared us for the years to come.
Fourth grade, a year of firsts and lasts. It was the year of our first overnight school trip, which involved a 5-hour bus ride to San Antonio, a visit to the Alamo and the Capitol, and ice cream with Mr. Paxton. It was the first year of having our own lockers, which we got to decorate, by the way, and switching classes, and reading our first novels, The Sign of the Beaver and Where the Red Fern Grows. It was also our last year of having those huge pencil boxes that we had to haul everywhere. It was our last year of lower school, and next year we would go into the big leagues, intermediate school. We will always remember our last year of lower school, fourth grade.
In fifth grade, we learned all the books of the Bible, all the states, and all the capitals, and the moment that scarred us all, watching the puberty video. We did projects such as creating your own country, building a styrofoam cell for our science class, and our country research project for world history. We also learned what to do in case Miss Blue fell out of her chair, which was, number 1, to get her a Diet Coke out of her fridge, and then go get the nurse. Luckily, we didn't need to do that for Mrs. Blue, but for Miss Majerus, we can't say the same. With these memories and more, we couldn't have asked for a better first year of middle school.
Sixth grade was full of fun new memories. We went to Sandy Lake, and once a month, choir would go to sing and eat lunch at Chick-fil-A until we had to apologize for throwing spitballs across the restaurant. Whoops. We also had some scares, like when a certain someone dropped Felix, Mrs. Blue's beloved class turtle, and everyone thought he died. Luckily, he didn't. We also had some fun trends. Kendamas, a Japanese toy, were really big that year, and we all tried to see if we could perform the go around the world trick. Our favorite game that year, Trivia Crack, was played all times. And who could forget Sky Ranch? From ziplining to building rockets to stuffing our faces with milkshakes. It was a trip full of memories and laughter. To finish off the school year, we all took a walk to the park on the last day of school.
Seventh grade was a spectacular year for the most part. It was a time of changes. For the first time at school, we made new friends outside of our own grade who had a major influence on the way we act today. We started to grow in maturity, and from then on, we became considered young adults. Some friendships from early grades somehow dissolved and new friend groups were formed. We started developing more in-depth personalities and our own reputations. We dissected worms, cow's eyes, and a frog. Later that year for science, we went to the Glen Rose Creation Evidence Museum. While there, we were able to see many artifacts and have an adventurous hike along the river to view dinosaur tracks and participate in a giant river rock throwing contest with Mr. Dibley. Ms. K got a new name, which many of us still refuse to call her. Then we couldn't wait to be in 8th grade. Just like right now, we can't wait to be in upper school.
This past year will be remembered as being in a class of its own. In November, we went on the 8th grade trip to Virginia. It was awesome to learn about our nation's history. We had the opportunity to spend an entire week with our friends, traveling on an airplane, and staying in a hotel together for the first time. We were also given the opportunity to choose Eagle electives like the World Series Wiffle Ball, Common Strict Creations, and the long-dreaded but very useful Personal Finance class. We had several opportunities to serve others as well. The 8th grade went to Gracebridge Food Bank in Salina. It was a great experience to serve so that other people could have food to eat. We also participated in Laps of Love, where we were pushing ourselves to run one more lap, resulted in raising $35,000 for research at the Scottish Rite Hospital for Children. This year, we also started a Bible study and a worship team. where we could grow in our walk and come together in fellowship. We have had wonderful teachers who have poured into us so that we could mature and become God-fearing young men and women. This year has been full of memories, and we cannot wait to make many more in upper school.
During the 7th and 8th grade years, we all participated in Legacy's fine arts programs, which consisted of art, band, choir, and drama, and technology. We also, this year, had the privilege of learning new languages, Latin and Spanish. First, in art, we undertook many amazing projects, such as paintings, drawings, and ceramics with our great teacher, Miss Mayberry. We were honored this year with being named the #1 private school art program in Texas and the #2 private school art program in the nation. In band, the students did a great job on stage, playing some beautiful songs with Mr. Murphy, and Miss Webb conducting. We were the first band to be able to perform a concert in the new Performing Arts Center here at Legacy, the LPAC. In choir, the group sang their hearts out, using their God-given abilities to glorify Him in competitions at Prestonwood and Houston. They also were given the opportunity to give their spring concert in the new Performing Arts Center. In drama, students did a great job of putting on plays like The Complaint Department and Lemonade, which took good courage. In Latin, we had fun learning about what the derivatives Latin words are, catching the football to answer a question, and learning what the Latin word interfecere means, which Mr. Algren liked to call the fun one, and by the way, it means to kill. Last but not least, in Spanish, we had a great time celebrating Cinco de Mayo, learning about the Spanish culture and the kind of Easter they celebrate there, and making the family trees with Miss Cameron. We will not forget the memories made and the precious time we have spent with each other. For the teachers who have poured their hearts out to help us learn about God, well, they will not be forgotten, but we will love for years to come.
Dearest parents, we wanted to take a moment to thank you for all the sacrifices that you make for us to come to this school. Not only monetary sacrifices, but the sacrifices of time, of sleep, and of comfort for us to be here at Legacy. We want to thank you for putting up with our attitudes, our folly, our disrespect, and our voice cracks. We want to thank you for your faithful kindness, your extreme patience, and your steadfast guidance. You were always there for us time and time again, and as much as we hate to admit it, we depend on you for everything. We want to thank you for all the sacrifices you have made for us to attend this school. Thank you.